Week 9 of Bible Studies for Life. Today we're continuing in this series on how we act and respond and treat our neighbors. And we go into a famous chapter, maybe one of the most beautifully written chapters in all of Scripture. It's 1 Corinthians 13, called the Love chapter. And so we're going to be looking at this. Before we do, be sure and like and subscribe, comment, ask your questions. What's your favorite verse in this passage, the favorite description of love, the one that stands out to you most? Let us know that. We'll have our conversation online. Appreciate you for watching. Appreciate you for teaching. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak human or angelic tongues, but do not have love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so that I can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. And if I give away all my possessions, and if I give over my body in order to boast, but to do not have love, I gain nothing. This intro to this chapter comes out of 1 Corinthians 12, which we've just looked at fairly recently, right? And 1 Corinthians chapter 13 follows after 1 Corinthians chapter 12. It happens that way a lot, where he's talked about spiritual gifts, but here he says, look, if I've got great spiritual gifts, if I can speak in a way that people love to hear me, if I have all these gifts, spiritual gifts, or if I am an extremely generous person, if I give away everything that I have, if I do these things that we would equate with spirituality, right? If I do all of those religious kinds of things, but I don't love people, what's the point? What does it matter, right? It does not matter. It doesn't matter how good you can talk. If I don't love, I'm just a gong, a clanging cymbals. It doesn't matter how many gifts of the Spirit you can manifest or pretend to manifest in your life, right? You know everything and all that. If I don't love, well, I'm nothing. I am nothing. Here, I am something. I am a noisy gong. Here I am nothing. If I give all my stuff away, if I am just being completely generous with everything I have, but I don't love, I don't get anything. If I'm giving to gain, I'm not getting anything. It's not happening. It is passing glory. It's gone. As soon as it hits, it's over. It's done. I've got nothing. Here, Paul is introducing love with the saying that this is the key to everything. Now, chapter 12, verse 31, the last verse of 12:31, after he's talked about these spiritual gifts, he says, but let me show you a better way. And then he says, let's talk about love. It doesn't matter if you can do all of this. If you don't love, what's the point? It's not going to make any difference. That you need love is at the core of everything. So what is this love? Well, love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy, is not boastful, is not arrogant, is not rude, is not self-seeking, is not irritable, does not keep a record of wrongs. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Now, this is kind of this classic. Boy, if you've been to a wedding, you've probably heard this passage read. Maybe this exact section, right, 3 through 7. This is this beautiful expression of love and matched by nothing in all of history. I mean, take Shakespeare, beautiful writing, take whatever great writer you want to go to in all of history. Nothing matches this section right here. Love is patient and love is kind. Love does not envy, is not boastful. Love is not arrogant, is not rude, is not self-seeking. That almost describes these section right here, right? Love works through things. Love does mercy, is merciful, right? It's kind. It doesn't envy. It's not trying to pump itself up, right? Not irritable and does not keep this irritable. This is, you just can't ever be satisfied. Some people, I'm telling you, some of you are just irritable people out there, okay? You just rub people the wrong way. Well, let me tell you, that's not love. That's not loving to do that. It doesn't mean that you can't get irritated, but irritable is a condition, right? Not irritated is a passing thing in a response to some circumstance. Being irritable is a condition. Love is not irritable, right? Does not keep the record of wrongs. Doesn't mean that love doesn't say what's wrong. We speak truth in love, But love forgives. That's part of this. It doesn't keep the record. It doesn't keep coming back and bringing up all the things that have been forgiven, and then we keep bringing them back up whenever it's convenient to us. Love does not do that. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. Whenever something good happens and somebody does something good, we rejoice, even if we don't like that person or we're not jealous of them. We want good for them, right? We're excited about those things. And then these last four that he lists here are beautiful, right? It bears all things. Listen, when you love people, you put up with a lot of stuff because you love them. And they don't always act the way you want them to act, but you love them, so you put up with. And you help them. You want them to be better, and you want to try to help them grow, but you still put up with it. If you demand that people conform to whoever you want them to be, then you don't love them. Okay? You may feel emotion towards them, but you do not love them. And this is important, right? Love believes they can get better, believes that it will get better. It believes all things. It hopes all things. It has it because we know that God can transform lives, and so we have hope that God will grab hold of somebody, and we hope that things will be better for them and for us because of it. We hope all things, and we endure. We go through difficulty because we love people. We endure things that some people, many people, will walk away from because they don't love them, but because we love them, we'll go through it. You don't hear the selfishness in this, do you? The selfishness that I think overwhelms marriages and overwhelms our culture is not here. This is selfless. This is enduring things. It's bearing with things, right? It's putting up with stuff. That's what, when we love, that's what we do. We bear with it. We put up with things. We endure through it because we love that person and we want the best for them, and we are hopeful, and we know that God can move and God can change, and so we're praying that he will. Does not mean that we don't speak truth, right? That we don't point out failures, that we don't hold people accountable, but we do so out of love. Love never ends. You hear that? Listen. Some of us have said it before. Well, I don't love them anymore. No, listen. You chose not to act in love towards them anymore. That's what you did. Love is not this. You don't fall in and fall out of love. We fall in and we fall out of infatuation. We fall out of love with people because they're no longer useful to us. That is not love. Love never ends. I mean, this is a clear statement of fact. And so we're going to have to deal with that, right? But as for prophecies, they come to an end. Tongues, they will cease. Knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know in part, we prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial will come to an end. Love is the perfect, right? Other things that they're going to pass away. Love's not going to pass away. Love's going to prevail over all. The Lord comes back for us because he loves us. Right? The Lord establishes an eternal kingdom with him because he loves us. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put aside childish things. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully as I am fully known. Now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. This verse 11 is one that I think we need to hear. The church, the world needs to hear. When I was a child, I acted like a child. But when I became a man, I put aside childish things. Let me tell you, when does this transition happen? When I became a man. When I became a man, transition happens when I decide to put away the childish things. When you put away childish things, then you can become an adult. You can start acting like an adult. To put away childish things mean I cannot speak like a child, I can't think like a child, I can't reason like a child, I can't act like a child. I'm going to have to decide to be an adult. And when you become an adult, it's when you decide to put away your childish things. Those actions, those reasonings, those lack of understanding, this idea that everything is about me, that's a child's thinking, right? You put that aside. And there is this growth that he talks about here that happens. There is this transformation that happens. I see is in a mirror, but then I'm going to see the Lord face to face. I know just partially, but then I'm going to know it completely. In the same way the Lord knows me now, I will know then. I will see things fully, right? These three remain. He says this is what's going to last: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of those is love. We've talked about before, faith, hope, and love for Paul are extremely important words, right? In his letters, the sooner they all show up together, the more pleased he is with the people he's writing to. All right, I hope that's helped. This is a great chapter. I mean, we could spend hours talking about this, right? I don't want to hit a few things, but hope it's helped. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching, for teaching, for giving your time and your effort. We appreciate that. For the kingdom's sake, we appreciate it. Like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Subscribe on YouTube. Be sure that you comment, share it with others, right? Continue to grow the channel. We'll see you next time.